Hey there guys, welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews, and today we're going to talk about how apparently the SJW gaming media is absolutely triggered by Shadows of the Tomb Raider. Because of course they are. Is anyone really shocked at this point? So, there were some issues based off of a Polygon article. There were actually a couple other news outlets gaming-wise that also wrote articles about this. Just like Spider-Man, they're upset with Tomb Raider. They're upset because apparently Lara Croft is in these South American countries and everyone speaking to her magically when they talk to her speaks English. Yeah. So apparently we're upset now because they decided to make it so the person playing the game could understand what was being said rather than having to read subtitles for the entire game. Yeah, that's super offensive and all. I'm pretty sure if I went down to, like, let's say I was in Mexico and I bought a copy of the game and it was a localized copy of the game and then they were all speaking Spanish, should I be offended that they're all speaking Spanish to Lara Croft and then she understands it? I don't understand. Yes, it's a plot hole in the game, but it's to make it so the game is more easily playable. And then there's people that are like, oh, well, she's just a white knight getting sent to this area. Okay. So let's be fair here. Lara Croft has always been white. Always. Day one, she was a white chick. Maybe she was a man at one point? Probably not, but yeah, white chick. That's not shocking, that's not new information. And there are some people that are really outraged by this white chick and her colonialization of these other areas. Well, unfortunately, there isn't really a lot of tombs and ancient sites to be really investigated here in America. So yes, a lot of that kind of stuff, specifically archaeology and paleontology, all happen in mostly other countries. Not saying that there isn't some that goes on here, but if I want to go explore some ancient ruins, that typically doesn't happen in America because we don't really have very many ancient ruins. If you're upset because it's a white woman going there, well, there are a lot of white people that are in those particular career fields as well. So are you offended in real life? Does that nullify all of these different things for you? And this is the other thing, race really doesn't play a role until all of a sudden someone wants to act outraged and make race play a role. So race wasn't a problem, we're gonna make it a problem. Because we want clicks and we want views. Thank you, Polygon. Trash, garbage website. So, I understand that you want your views, and I understand that you want to be super social justice-y and pro everything. That's great. You're not actually helping anyone. All you're doing is creating outrage over nothing. And then B, if they did change the character, so let's say we made Lara Croft a African American or some other minority group, you're not really doing them any benefits either because now you're half-assing creating them a character. You are just changing the color of the character just to fit a narrative that you want people to feel more included, which is actually haphazardly done. You're not doing anything positive at that point for any of those other cultures. You're just essentially pandering to a small group of people that are offended and upset because you made them offended and upset. If you want to actually make people feel culturally diverse and accepted and show these other nationalities and diversities in this game, which keep in mind, literally Lara Croft is one of very few white people that appear in this game, then you create fresh characters. You create a character based around that individual. You give them a backstory playing along with that individual. Just washing a character's skin color to fit whatever it is you want is actually doing more damage to your specific thing you're claiming to be there, that you're fighting for, then it is good. Just saying. There's really nothing special about that. Hey, we cared so much about you that rather than creating you your own specific character and designing a character that shows your culture appropriately, we just changed the skin color of this character. I'm sorry, but if I were any minority group, I would give you a giant middle finger in that case. Like, that is literally just shitty. So, personal opinion anyways. That's how I view it. I do love that they use the term indigenous people in it. Like, okay, you're trying to really drive that home that we're making. Maybe they should have made a Hispanic Lara Croft. Keep in mind, even Lara Croft's like best friend who's with her, Jonah, he's not white. But everyone just seems to want to focus on the fact that Lara Croft is. But she is a female. It's also too hyper-violent, by the way. Because of course it is. They talk about hyper-violence. Anita Sarkeesian also made that same argument where Lara Croft wasn't a good representation of women in games because it's the new Tomb Raiders are just too hyper-violent. No, they're not. They're not even that violent, really, if we're being honest here. A lot of the sections you can stealth around and try not to really have to kill anyone. Granted, you should, because I mess up a lot when I'm doing stealth missions. Then I get caught by someone behind me that I should have just taken out. I tried to do a playthrough of Dishonored without killing anyone. It went terribly. That'll never happen again for me. But with that being said, hyperviolence, they tried to say they made her into Rambo. I don't know if you know this, but I get overwhelmed when there's like two people coming at me at once. Lara Croft isn't really like... The whole point is you're supposed to barely skate through these incidences. Even when she jumps onto a ledge, she almost always lets go of one side of the ledge. Invest quickly in the perk where she just automatically grabs back on. That perk's wonderful. Not having to constantly always hit square every time you make a jump. But I mean, I absolutely love the Tomb Raider series. The reboots are an amazing reboot of a game. I just hate when everyone tries to find something that we've got to make an outrage about. There should be no outrage over this. This really isn't something that's shocking or new or anything outside of someone wanting some clicks on I almost said Kotaku because they're notorious for doing this kind of stuff, but Polygon. Keep in mind, it was one of the senior editors that wrote this. If I'm not mistaken, he's also one of the co-founders of Polygon. But, you know, that's how news media is. How do we get those clicks? I know. Who can I make feel like they were oppressed or left out of a game or not adequately represented? Let's appeal to them. And it's weird, because a majority of the times you get this, it's someone white making these complaints. It's shocking to me. But you also have, on the other hand, too, now, where you have, like, for the New York Times, they had an article that was published, this was a while back. It was an Asian lady who wrote an article about how all white people need to go extinct and how terrible white people are. It's okay to hate white people. That's acceptable in today's culture. By the way, that's still racism. When you're turning everything into a race topic, or you hate a specific race, that's racism. Now, when I tell you that the skin color of the protagonist of the game is something that I typically don't really pay that much attention to, that's less racist. I don't make it that conversation. I'm not saying, hey, and there's a lot of times I'll play games with characters that female, might not even be straight, might have different skin color, doesn't matter. It literally is one of the least important pieces of the story. If you tell me an adequately well-told story, I could care less what you do with that main character. But everything's got to be about something that causes outrage today. because that's the only way you get clicks. How to be outraged. How to be upset. How was I oppressed today? Well, I actually don't, I can't really say. I mean, if I really wanted to fish for something, I could, but I'm not that person. Live and let live. Guys, I'd love to hear your opinion on this topic in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you feel that that Polygon's really just searching here? I mean, it's Lara Croft. And I'm not gonna lie, I love the rebooted Lara Croft. I really wish the person who voices her in the game and does her mocap in the game, same person by the way for the last 3 games, I really wish that's who they would have used in the movie. And unfortunately the game isn't really selling all that well. It's a really good game by the way. If you have not played the reboots, you really should. They're fantastic. But even Shadow of the Tomb Raider didn't sell all that well. And this is underselling Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now keep in mind it is coming, or not Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. This is underselling that, and Rise of the Tomb Raider actually only released as an Xbox exclusive originally, and then a year later came out for PlayStation, and it's still not hitting those sales margins. However, it is coming out in a very busy time frame. There are a lot of games right now coming out, and not everyone has an endless amount of money to dump on games. I obviously run a gaming channel, so, you know, it's kind of a thing that I go out of my way to buy. It is what it is. But I would like to hear your opinion down in the comments below. Do you think Lara Croft is just some super offensive character that is terrible, and the colonialization, and oh my god, Tomb Raider offended me today? Down there. Also, if you want to follow me anywhere else, that's in the description box as always. Also, you can drop a like on the video if you enjoyed the video. That helps other people see my content. It's very helpful for me. So thank you in advance for any thumbs up that you leave, or even if you just share the video. I appreciate that as well. But, guys, love you all. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you're new here, too. Ding that little bell. It'll actually supposedly let you know when I upload content. And I'll see you all soon. Plenty more content.